Shalom Aleichem, Mishnah continues for Wednesday, Yud Zayin Heshvan. We are in chapter Gimel, chapter 3 of Yevamot at Mishnah Gimel, continuing a case where there were originally 4 brothers. We'll call them Reuven, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda, and 2 of the brothers were married to 2 sisters, Rachel and Leah, and Nebuch, those 2 brothers, died without children. So now these sisters both fall for Yibum in front of the surviving brothers, Shimon and Levi. So what do we do? Yesterday we explained there's a problem when they're sisters, and the problem is called Ahot Zikukato, the sister of one to which he has a Zika bond. Now this Zika connection means the brother has an obligation, and it's a sort of quasi-marriage obligation because he has to take care of this widow, either marry her in Yibum or release her to marry someone else via Chalitza. And just like a man cannot marry the sister of his wife, so too he cannot marry the sister of his Zakuka, the widow to which he has this obligation. Now Mishnah Gimel picks up with another level to this case of the 4 brothers. Haita achat mehen, if one of the widows, Asura alze iser erva, was forbidden to one of the brothers through an erva. So for example, if Leah was the mother-in-law of Shimon. Shimon had a wife already, and it was the daughter of Leah. So now there's an erva, a pre-existing family relationship. The Hashniya and the second widow, say Rachel, was Asura alze iser erva, was forbidden to the other surviving brother, call him Yehuda, with an iser erva. For example, she was a mother-in-law or a former daughter-in-law or the like, as we mentioned in the first Mishnah in Yevamos. So what do we do? Asura lazeh muteret lazeh. The woman who's forbidden to have yibum from one brother is allowed to have yibum with the other brother. Asura lazeh muteret lazeh, and vice versa. So for example, Leah, who is the mother-in-law already of Shimon, can't have yibum with Shimon, but she could with Yehuda, with which she has no prior erva relationship at all, and vice versa. Now, the reason here is because there's an erva, there's a forbidden relationship, this ahot zikukato problem never kicks in. The Mishnah summarizes here, V'zo hi she'amru, about this case, our sages said, ahota, her sister, kashehi yavimta, when she's also her ko-yavama, meaning she's also a widow who's falling to yibum in front of the same brothers, o choletzet o mityabemet. There is a case where she could do chalitza or be married in yibum. And that is this case where basically the erva relationships cut one sister out of the running for brother A, and then she marries brother B in Yibum if she wants to, and vice versa. So again, they need chalitza or Yibum in this case. If they don't want to get married in Yibum, they would need a chalitza to marry someone else. Now let's go on to Mishnah. Dalet shlosha achin. There were originally 3 brothers. Shnayin mehen, and 2 of those 3, Nisuin shtei achayot, had married our famous Rachel and Leah, O Isha Obita, or they married a mother and daughter, a Leah and a Dinah, O Isha Ubatbita, or a mother and her granddaughter, O Isha Ubatbana, or a woman and her daughter's daughter. Her son's daughter, rather. Now, in modern times, this sounds unlikely, but you understand people used to get married at a much younger age back in ancient times, had children when they were younger, and it could be that, the family was marrying off their oldest child, and that mother was pregnant with their youngest child. I've actually seen such cases. So in this scenario with the 3 brothers and the one surviving brother, Holzot velo mit Yevamot. In such cases, he does chalitza with these 2 widows, but not yibum, because again, there's a quasi-erva problem, ahot zikukato, or it's the mother or daughter or granddaughter of zikukaso, so he cannot do yibum to either of them, but they need a chalitza to marry someone else. But Rabbi Shimon poter. Rabbi Shimon says they don't even need a chalitza. He says because of the erva issue, both of these women are related to each other, that they are exempt not only from yibum, but even from chalitza. And the Mishnah adds, Haita achat mehen, if one of the widows was asura alav, was forbidden to marry the one surviving brother, iser erva, with a biblical prohibition on that marriage, asur ba, so then he can't have yibum with that widow, umutar ba'chota, but he would be allowed to marry the sister. It's a concept we mentioned in the previous Mishnah, that a pre-existing erva familial relationship knocks one of the widows out of the running, So then the surviving brother could perform Yibum if they want with the other widow, with which there's no erva issue. The Mishnah concludes, Isser mitzvah or Isser kedusha. If it's a rabbinical prohibition on marriage or a kohanic prohibition on marriage, holtzot velo mit yevamot. They need to do a chalitza on that woman, the other woman, the one who's not the erva, but they couldn't marry her in Yibum. As we mentioned yesterday, the power of the Isser Mitzvah and Isser Kedusha doesn't knock out the Zika. It doesn't undo that biblical obligation that the surviving brother has towards the widow. So there's still that connection. So he can't marry the sister or other family member of that woman. Yasher Koach and sei gesund.